body here. Because our core is not only just these abdominal muscles in the front, but it's also those transverse muscles that go right into the pelvis and connects to these inner thigh muscles, okay? And then there's also these muscles that we have, there's tons of them back here, that connect our lower spine to our upper spine and all the way up to our shoulders even. So, little education for you. Today, we're gonna make it so that we really open up our chest area, which is then going to really emphasize this strength in our back. Because I know, just from experience of working with a lot of people, pregnant women, and all of the above, these muscles get really, really loose and are hard to engage throughout the day. Oh, jeez, hold on, sorry. Donnie is like stuck. Donald, get out of here. I heard a thumping and I was like, what's that sound? Okay, so to start, you all know this move, and it's our forward fold. So a lot of this is going to be yoga, and what I want you to do is bring your legs shoulder width apart, okay, and then you're going to just have your hands to your side. Before we start anything, what I want you to do is just kind of bring those shoulders back and breathe out every time you pull them back. All the way around. You can bring your arms down wherever you want to hold them. I was kind of holding them up for some weird reason. So you're really opening the chest, and when you're doing this, I want you to think about increasing the length between your sternum and the tip of your shoulder. So you're really trying to bring them outward more than back. Do just a couple more breaths. Good. And now what I want you to do, keeping those shoulders back, you're going to place your fingers, so your two thumbs underneath your rib cage, somewhere in there if you can find them, and then the other finger, so your pointer finger, maybe your pinky, you're going to rest your hands so you can feel the length between your bottom of your ribs and the top of your pelvis, okay? So I'm going to hold it here because that's where mine is. And what I want you to do is now, while holding that chest up, take a deep breath in and feel that lengthen. Hold that lengthen as you exhale. Don't let it go down. And then inhale again and lengthen again. Try to get a little higher. We're increasing this length in here. And exhale again. Either hold that there with your last breath or get a little bit higher. You can feel an arch happening in your back right now. And exhale, holding that arch. Okay. Now, when you're in this position, it's going to start to look weird. So if I let go of my hands just for a second, I want you to all stay here, is you'll see that I have an arch, okay? And so to go and progress from here, we really want to start activating these lower back muscles. And so what I want you to do, while keeping your knees centered in the center of your feet, okay, you're going to push your butt back, still keeping that space. Push the butt back and keep this arch in your back, and your chest is still up. Good. So your head should be up, your chest is up. I'm only leaning forward just enough. If you look down, you should be able to see your toes. Those knees shouldn't be over. So if I show you an incorrect position, that would be this. I put my butt back, but then I'm leaning forward like that. Those knees are way too forward. Okay, so then we're going to engage these quads. We don't want to do that, so I want you to push that back with the butt, and all the way, so you should be able to actually lift your toes off the ground. Okay, so now you're here in this position, and all I want you to do is lift your chest up and come back down. Lift up, breathe in, and then exhale down. Keep that space, so if you're still holding at your waist, it's just keeping it there to make sure that you're holding the correct position. You should start to feel burn in your back a little bit. Just lifting that chest up and down. You feel that? Go ahead. Up, down, and now let's come back to starting position. Okay? I'm gonna show where I am right now. Take an inhale in so we don't forget that we gotta really lengthen up here, bringing our rib cage up, bringing our shoulders back. All our back muscles are squeezing right now. Okay, and now we're gonna go hinging forward. I really want you to emphasize pushing that butt back even more. And now you're gonna straighten out those legs. So now you're gonna actually feel that lengthening in your hamstrings. And lift one toe up and down, alternating dorsiflexion of your toes. So up and down, hold, 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 holy smokes. And 4, 3, 2, and 1, okay? Hold here, and now we're letting our chest go down, all the way down to the ground, letting our back sink, okay? So now you're reaching down to the floor. If you can't touch the floor, that's okay. Bend your knees a little bit so that you can. And then you're gonna be reaching, we're really just trying to create space here. So you'll see my butt is actually still going back. So I'm not, hi Donnie, I'm not going forward, okay? I'm not putting my knees forward or anything like that. I'm actually gonna push my butt back, pretend that I'm holding my fingertips on something, and really creating length all in my arms here. And you'll feel a little relief in your lower back and your upper back. Now try to straighten out those legs a little bit if you can to feel a little lengthening in those hamstrings. And then bend back down. Lengthen those hamstrings. That back is bent. We're giving it a little break right now. So lift those legs up. And come back down with an exhale. Now bringing your legs up straight with a slight bend. You're going to bring your fingertips back up and so your hands are touching your shin. And to come back into the position, you're just going to slowly raise your chest. Think about your chest coming up and not just your upper body. It's really just that chest. And you're keeping your hand right on your knees. And now I'm back in that position. If anything, I'm actually in a better position from my bottom to the top. Okay. And now I'm curving that back a little bit, holding that position for the last 10 seconds. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, and let's bring it all the way back up to a standing position. Whew. Yep. If you need to shake that out, shake that out. How you doing? Doing okay? Thumbs up? All right. Now, another thing that we need to kind of talk about in order for us to really establish a good core foundation is something that we've done a lot in our other classes, getting into a split stance here. Okay, and I have both toes pointing in one direction. And I want you to think about your upper body is one pole that's going straight down in between your legs and straight up to the ceiling. So it's attached to you right here, okay? And then I want you to raise your arms up. And you should know my back heel, my back leg is straight, my back heel is trying to push down to the ground. You might not be able to touch your heel down, that's okay. But you're really just trying to lengthen that back leg and then check your front leg. Is that knee bent over your ankle? So if you see mine, I'm gonna show you incorrect and correct because this is super important, especially with even classes that we do day to day. So I'm actually bringing see how I'm keeping everything straight here? And I'm gonna reach my arms up. This is incorrect. So you shouldn't be leaning that knee forward, okay? So bring the knee back, bring that heel back behind you, raising your arms, and interlace your fingertips on the top. I'm gonna pull that forward a bit, okay? So I have my interlace here. I have my left leg back. So that means I'm actually gonna kind of rotate over, just opening up this area here and lengthening all in our IT and lat area, all the way from our armpit to our hip. And we're holding, feeling that tightness. Whew. Good. Come back center. Bring your arms down by your side, and you're gonna make your arms in line with that back leg. Okay, and now you should be in this position. Okay, so I have my legs back, my arm is straight next to that other leg, and I'm not watching my knee, okay? And now what you're gonna do is bring that chest forward and then back up. You're gonna start to feel your booty here, but what I want you to really engage is this back. So keeping that back up, bring your thumbs up to the sky and try it again. So feel that difference. Chest forward and back. Squeezing those back muscles, don't let them cave in. Last one and back. Good. Let's switch sides. Ooh. Shake it on out. Donnie, you are in my lane here, mister. Okay, so bring that back leg back. I'm driving that heel down, checking my knee, making sure that it's behind that ankle joint. Okay, raising my hands above my head. And then I'm going to open up that hip. But honestly, I'm doing a little twist. Whew, almost lost my balance. Doing a little twist, if you're able to really open up all this space right here from armpit to the hip. Breathe. And try to force that heel down behind you. 3, 2, 1. Bring those arms in line with the back leg. Thumbs are going to turn up. And let's lean that chest forward, keeping our lower half the same. And then bring it back up. Lean forward. Breathe in. And breathe out as you come back up. One more lean. And back up we go. Good. And come back to standing. Ho, ho, ho. Shake that out. Good job. Okay. Gotta check all your faces. Make sure you're still alive here. You good? Okay. Good, good, good. Now, what I want us to engage next is back into the same routine. And this is called the founder. From what I hear, anyways, I watched this chiropractor, and I think he has a physical therapy degree too, which is interesting. But he talks about this founder exercise all the time, and it's what we do in yoga. But from my experience with yoga, yogis don't tend to talk about this stuff in the way that he does in terms of engaging the back muscles, bringing your thumbs up so you engage different muscles, okay? So what we're gonna do is bring our legs a little wider this time, and that's actually gonna engage the inner thighs, like I told you, connects to our core. So we're gonna get it nice and wide, toes pointing forward, and what I want you to do first is, let's create that space. So take an inhale, lift those ribs, lift that chest, and exhale, keeping that length. Inhale, and you can see I am really stretching it up, and exhale, and inhale one more time, and exhale. Go ahead and bring those arms down to your side since you know what it somewhat feels like. Bring those arms back, bring your pinkies back behind your butt, and let's go ahead and drop our chest forward, keeping our legs with a slight bend. So I have a little bounce in there. And I'm going to bring my chest forward. And then once I get to a point where I feel that stretch in my hamstring, I'm going to stop there, lengthen my hamstrings by straightening my legs, and then bending down a little bit. Lengthening by straightening. And I'm here, okay? So I'm straightening my legs, and then I'm bending down. Pushing that butt back, okay? So lengthen. Don't let those knees bend forward though. And I'm actually feeling a really good stretch in here when I bend. Up. Inhale down. And exhale back up. Inhale down. And exhale. Hold here. And straighten the legs best you can. And now we're gonna bend again down, but you're gonna continue down, bringing your arms down to the ground, keeping that wide stance between your legs. And feel that length in those hamstrings. Let your arms reach as far as you can get them to reach in front of you. So you're really creating length. That means I'm not reaching forward by bringing my body forward like that. I'm reaching forward by pushing my butt back and letting my hands kind of hold on tight. Okay? This forward fold, part of the founder exercise. And what I want you to do here is now do the same thing. You're going to bend your legs and lengthen. Bend them down and lengthen. One more time. Bend and hold the bend. Go ahead and crawl those fingertips back to center. Bring your hands along your shins. And we're going to get back into that lovely back pose that I know you guys are loving right now. Come on, back up, curving the back because you're bringing that chest up. And what I want you to do here, now I don't want you to be bent over like this like I just was. I want you to come up just enough so you have that natural curve in your back. Bring those arms forward along with your ears so your hands could clench your head in half, clamp it in half. And now I want you to draw those elbows back. Squeeze, 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 squeeze those back muscles together. Ooh, yeah, okay. Go ahead and bring them forward again. Up over your head, lifting those arms as high as you can. Past those ears. So I'm not reaching back that way. I'm just trying to hold my core center. Lift the arms, it will cause a little bit more stress. And now breathe out. Pull those elbows back, 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 and squeeze the upper back. Now, whew. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come and release in a stand position. Okay. Yeah. Good. All right. You're still there. Good. All right. Now, let's get down to the floor. And we really just, holy smokes, just work that back. And I tell you what, you can feel my back. I've been practicing those exercises for like a couple days now, and I think my back muscles have gained strength in ways I've never thought they could. So what I want you to do now is get right on your knees, and what we're going to practice is that breath again, but without any leg, so pretending that our legs are chopped off. So bring those shoulders back, lifting our rib cage each time. You'll notice that your chin kind of falls back. And you have this expansion here. When you keep rolling, remember, we're trying to create space in between this area, okay? So if you have to, kind of open up your arms like this. And so that way you're actually just by doing this motion, you're like opening a book. You can't kneel. That's okay. Go ahead and sit like this. That's fine. Yeah. So you can still squeeze those back muscles in front of you. Squeeze them back. Bring it center, up, and squeeze. Okay. Now, bring your hands back to center. I want you to bring those elbows together, forearms together, hands together. We know this exercise. Now, we're creating actually more lengthening in our back now. Because we need to stretch it out. There is a happy medium, a balance, so we just really squeeze them together. Now we're going to pull them apart. So what I want you to do here is practice that chop. And you're going to try to chop down. Feel that lengthening right across the back of your shoulders as you chop down. Breathe out every time you chop, and then bring up. Focusing on keeping the shoulders even. Good. One more down chop. And back up. Ooh, good. Okay, now hands together. Now we're just going to do just a few of our W squeezes here. Really just open out that chest. And exhale, squeeze in. So when you're squeezing in, now we're engaging this front of our core. So you're squeezing, bringing that belly button in. I'm actually curving my back a little bit so my stomach goes in, okay? And then expand. You're now engaging the back muscles, flexing, 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 and breathe out as we bring together. Good. Let's do that again. Breathe in, squeeze the back, expand that chest, and now exhale, engaging that front core. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. And you're really clenching the stomach muscles. Good. One more time. Out. And exhale, back to center. Excellent. Good. Okay. Go ahead and shake that up. Now, we're going to be getting onto our back. But before we do that, I want you to watch what I'm going to show you for the next exercise. We've definitely gone over it with the dowel, but I want to go over it a little bit more with no dowel or anything else. So what I'm going to be doing is I am first starting with one leg, okay? So we're just going to be pushing that leg out, down, up, and back to center, okay? And so when you're doing this, you're really focusing on keeping this back down, okay? So to do that, you gotta tuck that tailbone down, really exhale so the core, the front of the core is engaging, and then now I can really extend that leg out, drop it down to the floor, touch the heel of the floor, come back up, bring it back and bend it to your chest. Up, down, back, bend. And of course, as you start out with the core, this might actually be somewhat easy if you have a really strong foundation in the front of your stomach. But if that's you, and you're like, wow, this is really easy, I can just do this, I want you to challenge yourself by bracing your core. Remember that core bracing we're constantly talking about? Exhale, use your breath to brace, and really think about pushing your back muscles as hard as you can onto the floor. So I'm really exaggerating that push into the floor, and I'm feeling my front muscles really engaged now. Push, 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 engaging, exhaling. Come on back up, and exhale again. Exhale when you drop it down to the floor, up, and breathe out again to the chest. One more time, up to the sky, drop it down, up, and exhale back to the chest. Nice, good. Okay, and let's switch over to the other knee. So really exaggerating that push down to the ground. We're turning our hips, pushing our middle of our back down, drawing that knee to our chest. And let's bring it up. Inhale, exhale as you drop it down. That's going to really create that pound of our back to the floor. And bring it back to your chest. Up to the sky. Exhale, drop it down to the ground. Up, inhale, and back to your chest. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale down. Up. Engage that core. Feel that core if you have to. Hold your stomach. Feel those muscles clench. Your stomach should be hard right now. If it's not hard, brace a little harder. Maybe even bring your head up if you need to engage that core more. Or if you're like, oh my gosh, I am gonna die, then maybe just take a quick break and bring both knees to your chest. But if you can keep going, we're gonna get one more after this one. One more out, leg out, stretch down, brace that core, bring that back down, and lift up and bend it in. Good. Bring both legs to your chest, hold here for a second. You can rock side to side, let everything just relax for a second. Good. Okay. Woo. And now, with your hands coming back to your side, and you can watch if you want. We're now going to bring both legs up into 90 degree. And then what I want you to do, still bracing. So instantly when I did this, and I don't know if you experienced the same, I felt my back lift up off the ground. So if that was you, exhale, bring that tailbone down. And then what you're going to do is we're going to do a little bicycling here. So now I'm bringing one knee to the chest, one knee out. And you can start out up here, so you can be straight legs up and down, or you can give yourself a little bit of an incline. Okay, back and forth. Both areas need to keep that back down. Or if you really want to engage that core, keeping the back on the ground, reach lower and straight leg out in front of you. But you're going to continue, feel that core. You're engaging the obliques at this point. I can feel the sides of my stomach's really engaging. Holy smokes. Good. Breathing, keeping that back down. We have 4 more. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Bring those knees to your chest and actually bring them down to the ground. And that way you can let that back come off the ground. And now really actually you're going to create the space behind your back. So lift that back up, stretch it, bring your arms above your head, reaching. Oh, you're really actually creating that space. Remember we measured that space between our ribs and our hips? Yeah, you're going to really create space now. Lengthening, reach those arms up. Maybe reach one up higher than the other, then switch over to the other side. Good. And let's just get a couple more reaches. And now draw your arms back to your sides. Bring that tailbone under, knees to your chest. And now let's go ahead and rock ourselves back up to a seated position. Good job. Ha ha. Okay. How are you guys doing?
Okay.
Good? Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to get time to talk about what we just did. Because I know personally, like, I'm a lot more fit and I've been doing this a little longer. I have younger bones and muscles than you guys. So I want to make sure that I'm not hurting you with anything. So let me know what was your hardest point in that routine.
Kneeling.
Yeah, I know. I need to get you a pad, one of those cool, like, you know, those foam pads. Have you ever seen those? Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, I used to use one in yoga.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I should have done one. That'd be good. But yeah.
I'll find something.
Yeah, either that or like, I usually, like, Ryan has trouble with his knees sometimes. So we have 2 mats though, and I'll roll up one mat and he'll put his knees on that and then he'll have his other mat for his body. But yeah, for now we'll stay seated. You're good. You didn't need it too much. Did you feel like you were able to squeeze your back still?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
I felt like I probably wasn't engaging my muscles enough
Mm.
because Dad was over here huffing and puffing, and I was like nothing. So I'm not sure what I was not doing right, and what were we doing? I don't know.
Was
and
this-
then when we were doing the stretch, I think we were standing up, and we should have been feeling like we had the wide stance.
Yep.
And I was not feeling any pull.
In your hamstrings?
No.
Did you feel it in your back?
At one point, running at the end. So
Okay.
I think I finally figured it out.
Okay. Yeah, so that is definitely a hard part without me being there. But it takes practice. So each core foundation class, I'm going to introduce probably the same kind of routine because honestly this is something that we should be doing more often than not because Lovely humans, we tend to do everything in front of us and nothing's back here. Nothing is held on our back, so we have to, like, backpacking is awesome because you actually bring your back, you're constantly opening up that chest. So now that we're opening that up, we're training those muscles to become engaged. And if you're leaning over, like you were saying, and not engaging the hamstrings because they're not lengthening at all, you're probably bending your knees a little bit too much, or perhaps you weren't bringing your arms farther enough and pushing your butt back.
When we first did that with the whole pushing our butt out, I felt that immediately in my like tailbone area.
Okay.
So my lower back, I felt that right off.
Okay. Good. So, yeah, what was different?